When it comes to protecting yourself from the sun, Brittany Craig is live on your side, busting the fact from fiction when it comes to protecting yourself against the sun with sunscreen. And Brittany, thousands will be at the beach, the lake, the pool, and turns out not all sunscreens work exactly as well as they're advertised.
Right, Meredith, when you're on the sunscreen aisle like I am right now, it can be really confusing trying to figure out what sunscreen you should choose. There are all these different SPFs. You may look and see an SPF of 30, an SPF of 15, and you'll assume the SPF 30 will give you twice as much protection as the SPF 15, but that is not the case. In reality, SPF 15 gives you about 93 to 94% protection against UVB rays, while SPF 30 gives you about 97% protection. If you go up to SPF 45, you get about 98% protection. And dermatologists say after that, it pretty much doesn't matter. There's no point to it because once you go up higher, you'll get a little bit more protection, but no sunscreen is going to give you 100% all the way protection against those UVB rays. Now, what those UVB rays do is they cause sunburns, and they also increase your risk of getting skin cancer. So products with SPF 2 to SPF 14, they can help with sunburns, but they're so low that they don't really help against getting skin cancer. And that's why dermatologists recommend at least a minimum of SPF 15. But you should also look for products that say broad spectrum, and that's because they've been proven to protect against both UVB and UVA rays. Now, a recent Consumer Report actually looked at some of these sunscreens and tested them, trying to see if they actually were performing as well as they should. And they found that some said they would have an SPF of 50, but really had an SPF of around 8. Now, I did look at pretty much all of these and looked for them, but I did not find any of those sunscreens that they said weren't living up to expectation and performing as well as advertised. I did actually find this one. It's a Banana Boat Kid sunscreen, and this is one of the ones the Consumer Report recommends as one of the best sunscreens to use. Now, I will put a list of all of the sunscreens they recommend on our website. But the big takeaway here, dermatologists say when choosing a sunscreen, you need to choose one that has an SPF 30 to 50. Make sure it's water resistant, and also make sure it says broad spectrum. As they say, you need to put it on about 15 to 20 minutes before you're out in the sun, and make sure you keep reapplying it every 2 hours.
This is great news, Brittany, because I was just in the store the other day and thinking of all the social media posts I've read that say this is toxic and this is toxic and this is toxic. So great that a local dermatologist is clearing that up for us. But I want to go back to something you said. You said water resistant. That doesn't necessarily mean these sunscreens are waterproof.
Exactly, Meredith. Now, what water resistant means is it gives you a length of time for how long the sunscreen will keep protecting you after you've been exposed to water. Like the one I'm holding says water resistant 80 minutes, so that's how much time you'll have that it's still protecting you after you've gotten wet. But that means you still need to keep applying it at least every 2 hours, especially if you've been swimming or sweating. Dermatologists say it doesn't matter if it's water resistant, broad spectrum, how high the SPF is. After 2 hours, it's gone.